There's a battle at the Statehouse that could impact any one of us if we were to get hit by a drunk driver. And it's something insurance companies and small businesses are paying close attention to, but not necessarily the average voter. I'm 7 News consumer anchor Diane Lee, digging deeper into liquor liability laws and the broader issue of whether limits should be placed on who and for how much you can sue.
I was there, my boyfriend was there, and my daughter was in the back of the car.
When Ashley Stamey was hit head-on by an underage drunk driver, she was in a wheelchair and out of work for more than 4 months.
That was hard because you have to rely on other people.
Yeah.
You have to see your kids do stuff that you can't be there for.
That's very hard.
So yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. While everyone survived, there were medical and other bills to pay, so Stamey sought the help of Christopher Pracht, an attorney who's against a push at the Statehouse for what's called tort reform, which he describes as
any kind of roadblock that you can throw up to make it harder for a victim to recover in a court of law.
Still, a clear casualty of the lack of tort reform has been small bar and tavern owners who can no longer afford insurance premiums. This year, upstate establishments like Elevation Winery and Bond have closed. And at a recent press conference, People's Tap shared they were facing the same fate.
So just in a few years, our insurance policies or our coverage has doubled.
Now, to really understand this issue, you have to go back to a court case involving a South Carolina officer who was hit by a drunk driver. That led to the passage of a 2017 law requiring any establishment that sells liquor for on-premises consumption, no matter how small, to have $1 million insurance policy. Chris Smith, the executive director of the South Carolina Bar and Tavern Association, says after that passed, insurance companies that offered liquor liability coverage left the state in droves as bars became a bigger target. Still, he says what made it worse was a law passed last year trying to help bars called Bill 3430. The bill limits how much a bar can be liable down from 100 to 50% and requires mandatory server training, among other measures, to reduce insurance rates. But it stops short of mandating insurance companies comply.
The problem is there's no teeth to it, right? So these insurance companies aren't giving anybody these discounts, and that is the problem here.
Are you more upset with the insurance companies or just the law itself?
Both. You know, I wish the bill had more teeth to it, and I wish the insurance companies would come to the table and help us.
State Senator Ross Turner runs his own insurance company and had been pushing for tort reform through Bill S-244, which would have placed limits on who and how much victims can sue. He says the compromise, 3430, falls short. For one, a technical flaw unintentionally requires a bar to pay a per-occurrence rate of 50% of the total coverage, even when a policy's aggregate is well beyond $1 million. That's what had People's Tap truly staring down closure with an insurance policy that didn't comply. But Turner says the bigger issue is a need to restore the type of tort reform passed in South Carolina back in 2005.
At some point, there's got to be personal responsibility and not just trying to find the deep pocket.
So you don't feel like the restaurant should be liable really at all?
No, not if they had done everything they were supposed to do and they cut the person off and got them a ride home.
Turner is quick to cite states like Virginia, where bars are generally not civilly liable and not required to buy any liquor liability insurance at all. But Pracht says it's the people who lose out with tort reform.
You need to pay attention to this stuff because not a lot of people do, but I tell you who does, and that's insurance companies and big business. They pay very, very careful attention to this stuff.
And how's your daughter?
She's great. She's thriving. She's supposed to graduate in 2 years.
Stamey, who sued the gas station that sold beer to the underage driver, says any place providing alcohol should carry the blame, especially when negligence is involved.
At the end of the day, it's about who's being impacted. It's not about, the money. It's about how people can keep going with their lives after a situation like this.
Now, the push for tort reform is a bigger issue than just bars and restaurants. It extends to other industries like trucking and product liability. As for People's Tap, the bar was able to get new coverage and stay open. Also, lawmakers say that they are trying to change the language flaw in Bill 3430 before the end of the session in May and likely revisit tort reform next year.